It is my very deep honor and privilege to present my very good friend, Furman.
Thank you, Joe. If you don't mind, I'm going to read my remarks because I'm kind of nervous. I don't want to mess everything up. Okay? I still find it hard to believe that USA Hockey has chosen to honor me, but I am sure I'm grateful and appreciative of the recognition. I hope you will bear with me because there is a list of people I would really like to thank that have helped me and inspired me to become the kind of volunteer I've always wanted to be. First and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Pat, for allowing me the time to spend on all hockey-related tasks that I took on and the ones that we did together. Over the years, she has been a great help to me, and without her support, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish what I had. I would like to thank my 4 children, Paul Jr., Kimberly, Daniel, and Timothy, for being the kind of kids that allowed me to do my thing. I could almost always count on them to understand when Pat and I had hockey things that had to be done. I also want to thank my 3 grandchildren, Bobby Ray, Danielle for playing hockey, and Corey for starting to play hockey. This gives me a little extra excitement when I go to the rink to watch them skate. I would be remiss if I didn't say a few words about my mother, who raised my 2 brothers and my sisters and myself without any help from my father. She taught us many, many useful lessons, but there are 2 things that are most important. She taught us that honesty is by far the best policy. And if you can't do it honestly, then don't do it at all. She also instilled in us that a person's integrity should be above suspicion and should last a lifetime. I try to use both of these words of wisdom in my performance of my job. I just know, had she been alive today, that she would have been as happy as a peacock to learn of my decision as a lawyer. I sincerely hope that the people who are actively involved in the aspects of our great game of ice hockey practice those 2 virtues in their everyday tasks. I want to give a special thanks to the President and past New York State Amateur Hockey Association board members. They more or less gave me a free hand to go about my duties with undue interference. Without the help and support I received from them, I couldn't have done the job that I did. A lot of the New York State board members are here tonight, and they were hoping that I keep my remarks short. I promise I'll do that. Bob Allen was the president of the New York State Amateur Hockey Association when I attended my first New York State annual hockey meeting. I did so as a delegate from the Oswego Minor Hockey Association. To this day, I don't think I would have ever become state tournament director if it wasn't for Bob Allen. In 1983, at the spring meeting of the state board, our state tournament director abruptly resigned. Bob Allen was the one who suggested to John Goodman, our president at the time, that I should be appointed state tournament director. The 3 of us discussed it, and I decided to try it with the stipulation that I could return to the Central Section President's job if I didn't like it. The decision came before the full board, and they agreed to let me try it. And as it turned out, I guess I liked it because I stayed for 24 years on the job. Oh, I almost forgot. I got a message. This is for Bill and Jan Hall. Larry and Patty want their Batman costumes back. My hockey roots go back to Central New York, where Dan Howard first got me involved in the Oswego Minor Hockey program. Dan was a very nice person who only thought of the kids and how to better serve them. Dan was responsible for me being appointed to the Oswego Minor Hockey Association Board of Directors. I, a factory worker, was joining a board that consisted of 2 bank presidents, college and high school administrators, a funeral director, college professors, 2 businessmen, plus the head coaches of the college and high school hockey teams, and of course, a lawyer. To say the least, I was very nervous. And when I first walked into the meeting room, I remember thinking to myself, Paul, what in the hell do you think you're doing? But they all made me feel so welcome, and my fears slowly subsided as they started to discuss normal hockey problems. It didn't take me long to realize that they didn't know what they were doing either. Hockey was in our area. Hockey was new to our area, and it seemed that we all learned together. As I look back, I can remember many good times and the people who are the essence of the local hockey program. The local newspaper owner showed me how to keep beer cool by placing it in the water closet in the toilet when you didn't have any ice available. I remember my daughter, who was 16 at the time, picking up Kathy Rice, a little 8-year-old girl skater, after Kathy had scored her first goal and skated around the rink with her like the Stanley Cup. Like in other sports programs, coaches are a very important part of the organization. I want to mention just a few that really stand out in my memory. Dennis Gould and Al Teskey were young men who were assigned to the United States Coast Guard Station in Oswego. Jim Gray, Peter Sears, and Eddie Gozek showed by their actions on and off the ice how proper conduct and how to properly conduct themselves. Sears was a goalie on the '72 Olympics team, and Gozek, the Swing State Lakers, won the 2006-2007 NCAA National Tournament, Division III, and Eddie was awarded Coach of the Year honors. And all four of these coaches, or 5 coaches actually, they did outstanding jobs. And I mean really, truly outstanding jobs. 2 referees that I want to mention is Bob Swift, and Kermit Ford. And they really had the kids' interests at heart with their unselfish contributions to the officiating programs in Oswego. They did many games. Bob would go out of town, referee games, not get paid, and then when we would have tournaments in Oswego, he would call up those associations and say, hey, send me some referees, for the games that I did for you, so we wouldn't have to pay them in Oswego. Ford would travel 130 miles one way to referee games. We would come from Potsdam to Oswego. But he did it because he loved the game. And over the course of the last 2 decades, it has been my pleasure and passion to have played a small part of hockey in New York. Being involved has provided me with many fond memories. I have been proud to be a volunteer and to serve children and adults who participate in the game at all levels. I'm humbled and privileged and honored to be recognized by USA Hockey, and I thank you all for your efforts and you continue to make this sport special. I'd also like to say a special thank you to Ray Gribble for all the help that she has given me throughout the years by sending me the books and things like that, so I can get the stuff in the packets so I can send them out to various tournaments from sites. And in closing, I just want to leave you with these words of wisdom. I'm nervous no more. I feel free at last. My remarks are finally over, so let's go to the bar and have a blast.